What is it in life that you let overcome you? There are things in the world that overcome a lot of people. A good friend of mine had a wife who was a compulsive shopper. She could not control herself when it came to going to the store and buying stuff. She literally would go into, oh, that's so cute, that's so pretty, this is so pretty. For babies, she didn't know who they were. Or a blouse, she didn't blouse, she had a whole house full of clothes. She literally, at the end of a month or two, would give away all this stuff, brand new, to the Salvation Army or the Goodwill. She went out and spent all this money. And she had no understanding of control. None. That overcoming of her by that compulsiveness. Her husband and I were good. We've been friends since junior high school. We were talking about one time, and we talked about how to fix it. I said, aside from divorce, the way I would suggest you do it is you write all these credit card companies that she's using, write them a letter, and refuse to be part of her credit system. Take your name off of every credit card she's got. Don't be a part of it. And let her suffer the consequences of her spending. Because she had a job. She was working as a waitress, making good money and tips and everything. And so he finally did, because he had literally borrowed from his 401k plan at least three different times to pay off her debts, and had to pay taxes on the money out of his 401k. And it was hurting him bad economically for retirement. So I explained, this is what you got to do. Well, he did that. And then she could run her credit cards up to the max. But from then on, nobody was taking a credit card. Well, that's what he had to do. She couldn't control herself, so there had to be another means of control. When people get caught up in things that are overcoming, and it happens to a lot of people, it happens to people who think, oh, it could never happen to me. When I was a young man, I got a credit card in the mail from Atlantic Richfield. I remember the Atlantic Richfield. That was before it became AM/PM and all that stuff. A credit card, gas credit card. And I was newly married, going to college, weren't making a lot of money. We'd make it $5,000, $6,000 a year. Got a credit card with a $500 limit. I said, wow, we can buy some gas. So I used it once in a while to buy gas. Well, unbeknownst to me, my other half was doing other things. And pretty soon, that credit card was maxed out, and we still had no money. So I went to a friend of mine that I'd worked for as a kid, multi-millionaire, big, beautiful mansion. You guys saw where the Pacific Palisades burned this last year? All the houses down there from La Jolla and everything burned. Well, he used to own all that property. And before the Depression back in the 20s, he owned all that property. And after the Depression, he paid all these taxes. He still owned it. So after that happened, he came back, he was a multi-millionaire again. Well, I was working for him in San Bernardino on apartment houses. And he would take me with him at lunchtime and educate me. He taught me a lot of things about finance. And I really appreciated that, because over the years, he saved my neck. Well, when I got in college, I had that $500 limit on my credit card. I was maxed out, I couldn't do anymore, and I went to him to ask him for a loan. I said, Mr. Scott, I said, here's the situation. I said, I want to pay this credit card off, get rid of the credit card. I said, could you loan me $500, I'll pay it off. He said, Joe, come with me in the room. He took me into the room away from my wife, all that stuff. And he explained things to me. He said, you've got the ability to pay that off within what you've got.